Alright, this has only taken me fucking 15 times to do. Let's see if I can get it on 16. I want to talk about this backpack from Direct Action. And while it might not be a perfect option for me, it might be just a backpack for you. But first, some words of encouragement from Johnny Cash. Roll that intro. Fucking nailed it.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I'm many things and many people. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, and Davy Crockett. I'm Lee, Grant, and Abe Lincoln. I'm more than 3 million farms. I'm forest, field, mountain, and desert. I'm quiet villages, and I'm cities that never sleep. You can look at me and see Ben Franklin walking down the streets of Philadelphia with his bread loaf under his arm. You can see Betsy Ross with her needle. You can see the lights of Christmas and hear the strains of Auld Lang Syne as the calendar turns again.
All right, guys. Appreciate everyone sticking around through that intro. Real quick, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Athena Precision. So Athena Precision, they make optic plates as well as other firearm accessories. However, what sets them apart from their competition is the fact that they make all their stuff out of hardened steel instead of the typical aluminum. And the fact that they do so at a cost cheaper than some of the big name aluminum brands out there. I just picked up one of their plates for my P10F and I've been using it solely in my competition and I have zero complaints. That thing has got a ton of rounds on it already. And whenever you order your optics plate, they'll also send with it some screws just to make sure that there's no confusion on which screws that you're supposed to use. So big shout out to Athena Precision and be sure to go give them a check out. The link will be in the description below as well as our website. And speaking of the website, guys, be sure to go check it out. The name of it's called Rebel Spirit Combative Training Applications.com. Yeah, I know it's a fucking mouthful, but the link will be down in the description below. But go give it a check out, guys. It's a really great hub that I'm trying to build out. It has all your favorite content creators located in one spot with all their links to all their different social and their websites and stuff like that. You got training resources such as firearms drills, firearms maintenance. I'm working with a guy right now to hopefully get some radio information in there as well. But yeah, go give it a check out, guys. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Custom builds from your favorite content creators such as myself, Bones, a couple other people are working on them as well. So go give it a check out. And yeah, let's get into this backpack. All right, so this is the Ghost Mark II from Direct Action. Direct Action is a company that makes nylon equipment for the military and police personnel over there across the pond in the European section. And they make some really great stuff, to be perfectly honest. This is my very first time playing with something from theirs, but I'm quite impressed with it. The pack itself is about 31 to 35 liters whenever you combine the main compartment as well as the outside pouch as well. I'm not going to go into a full breakdown of the spec sheet. If you want, you can go check it out on their website. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. However, it is made with berry compliant materials, which is probably like the main thing that people will want to know. Before we bust open the pack and see what all kinds of stuff it can fit in here, I wanted to make a quick note of some of the changes I've made, just so you know exactly what you get if you decide you want to buy this. So on the side here, the backpack comes with laser cut MOLLE on the section. So it's like a 2-row by like 5 or 6, something like that. Or sorry, a 2-column by 5 or 6 rows. And to it, I have attached 2 pouches from Nixie Works. It's like they're 2 wide GP pouches, and I use it basically to hold extra water, right? So they're large enough to hold an Nalgene, as well as have some extra space in here for like some aqua tabs, powdered electrolytes, water filtration system, whatever you want, really. I have one on each side. And yeah, they do well. They hold both the wide mouth and as you saw earlier, the just narrow mouth. So on the bottom of the pack, it actually has 4 MOLLE strap compartments that you can attach stuff like I have done so right here. And to it, I've just attached a little pouch that my wife has made me, and all it does is hold my sleeping mat. So the sleeping mat, or at least mine anyway, is like neon yellow on one side. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Yeah, neon yellow, really bright, really stands out, which isn't necessarily a problem sometimes, but sometimes it is. And so just had her make me this little pouch for in case there's times that I don't necessarily want to be seen that easily. And then on the pouch, she just sewed in some little homemade like molly loop straps type things to where I can just clip in a couple of nylon straps like so and carry it around. So yeah, that obviously doesn't come with it, and neither do the side pouches, but everything else on this pack does. And I guess we'll go ahead and start going through there. One thing I want to note before we break everything down, and I'll change the angle so you can get a better look at it here in a second, is the fact of how well the sucker actually holds a helmet or other large size items. This isn't a new concept, right? Plenty of packs can do this. However, in most of the times, or at least in my experiences, whenever a pack tries to do this, they either can't hold very large items, so like it's only meant for one thing and one thing only, and it does it mediocrely well, or whenever they try to do something like this, it reduces the overall capacity of either the main compartment or whatever outside pouch or strap that they're using. And this pack, I'm sure, does it some, but I haven't noticed it enough to be a problem or to even be noticeable, to be perfectly honest. So real quick, it has there's straps all over this thing to help you connect to this and to help cinch everything down. But I took the straps up front, kind of crossed them to make an X up here just to help make sure it doesn't come out. And then on the bottom, they have the same thing, a couple of straps, and I did the exact same thing, right? Made an X just to help ensure that the sucker doesn't fall out when I move it around. To be perfectly frank, I think the retention, if you were to like pull everything down and strap everything down real tight, the retention itself would be more than enough. But it doesn't hurt to be safe. So we'll go ahead and take it out. So I'll undo those real quick. Pop that out, turn it over, pop that out again, kind of loosen it up, and then you can just kind of peel it back and then pull your helmet out. And then from here, you can have like your nods inside of a padded pouch, like inside of here, and then between the padded pouch tucked inside the helmet and the helmet tucked inside the backpack, I actually do believe it would be very fairly well protected. So the pack comes with this outside pouch already connected, and then it has this bungee cord on the side, and the bungee cord, you know, has this little pull bead or pull strap, whatever you want to call it, to help like retain the strap everything down. I have it extended all the way out for this video, but as you can see, I mean, look how much fucking space you could get in there. I mean, you could easily stick a drone with a hard case and your fucking helmets inside of here. I would think no problem. If you got like a big dry bag that you want to carry extra stuff in, you can stuff it right here. You could tools, I mean, literally whatever you want could fit in there and be just fine. And you could strap it down and not have to worry about it coming out. That to me, this little feature on this pack is probably its saving grace, and it's probably why I will be hanging on to this pack and playing with it. Right now, I have it set up for a spring and summer bag, and that's basically all it's good for because of its overall capacity size. You might be able to make this into like a one-day winter bag or something like that, but unless you like use a dry bag to stuff like some extra stuff to keep you warm at night, because you just need some more materials, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time just with overall space in this bag. But for spring and summertime use, it works really great for me. So the backside right here, this is probably one of its major downfalls, to be perfectly frank. And it's not a major, you know, it's not a big one, but it's the biggest one about the pack, other than its overall capacity. So the pack comes with these padded vertical strips right here, and a channel down the middle to help, like, you know, get better air ventilation and stuff like that. It's not horrible. The padding itself isn't very comfortable. I mean, it's noticeably nice, you know, nicer than having nothing, obviously. but it missed the mark just a little bit. It's kind of uncomfortable. Maybe it'll break in a little bit more as I use the pack. I've had it for about 8 months now. I've taken it on 2 overnighters and I don't know, probably like a dozen morning rucks type things. And it's fine. Like, I mean, I have it weighed down a little bit, not too crazy. I don't even have extra ammo in here or anything like that. And you can feel the weight on your back. Like, you can feel some pressure points on your back. And it's not like horrible, but over a long periods of time, I don't know how well it would do, especially if you loaded it down with a good amount of weight. So that's like my major complaint with it. Not enough to be obviously for me to get rid of it, but enough for me to make note of it. Whenever you get the pack, it also comes with this belt. So this belt isn't horrible, but it's not great either. So the belt padding is much better, in my personal opinion, than this back padding. It's a little bit thinner, but a lot softer, a little bit more give. It has more give to it, so it doesn't like create hot spots on you. On the outside of the belt, it does have laser cut MOLLE webbing. And whenever you get this pack, it does come with, I'll be frank, a quite shitty Y harness, right? So it's like a Y harness, a 3-point Y harness with a bungee strap in the middle. And it's meant to connect to this belt. So you take the belt out, connect the Y harness to it, you know, clip the belt around, and now you have yourself a little makeshift belt kit type thing. Really cool concept. Love the concept, honestly, but they missed the mark by a couple of things. One, obviously the Y harness is shit. So if I can get rid of it and replace it with make something better. Especially a 3-point harness, if you put any kind of weight on that thing, it's not going to do well, especially with that single bungee strap in the back. That's just not going to hold weight very well. And then the belt itself is a one-size-fits-all, and it's about the size of a small to a medium. So it doesn't do well for everybody. It does well for some, not everybody. I understand why they did it, right? They're a military and police. They make military and police stuff. So big batches, one size fits all type of thing. Some of our military guys will know all about that. And yeah, so they were trying to make one size to give out. And yeah, if they would have made it to like a little bit longer, I think that'd be great. Give you some size choices. That'd be ideal. But again, I understand why they didn't. If we open up the back right here, so back has a hydration pocket right here. It's lined with that water resistant material. And this pack actually comes with 2 hydration pockets. So you can run 2 bladders in here if you wanted to, which again, it is quite nice, especially like the spring and summertime. Let's say you have a place that you're going to and you don't necessarily think you're going to be able to refill your water and you have to take all your water with you. Cool. 2 bladders, 4 liters on the outside, plus whatever water you carry on your kit. It's a fair amount of water. It doesn't leave much room for everything else, but you don't necessarily need a sleep system all the time. But yeah, you can stick a hydration bladder in here as well as one on the inside of the main compartment. I typically don't use hydration bladders. I don't find them very fun, to be perfectly honest. So you could probably stick like some mat documents that you wanted to keep dry or something really flat, tarp, maybe a poncho folded up. You can probably stick right here. I have tried to fold up a Wilby and stuff it right here, and it fits, but it bulged out really good, like, you know, something like that. And definitely made more hot spots on the back that you wanted. So while it can fit a Wilby, I don't suggest it. All right, so jumping over here to the side, we have one more little small complaint I have. Again, this seems to be a industry standard thing, and I don't know why. Everyone fucking does these things wrong. Nobody likes them, and including these guys. These guys didn't do it right, but you know, that being said, they did do it better than some of the other people. On the sides here, you can see, so the pouch, or so the water bottle compartment itself is just made with like that 500 nylon stuff, but in it they have these little elastic bands that kind of like go all the way through from one side to another, and so they help pull the pouch down and collapse it into the pack if you don't want to use it. And then they also have MOLLE straps right here on the side for it as well. So that makes it nice. So if you don't want to use it, you can kind of like, you know, collapse it down to where you don't even notice it's there. I don't know how well these MOLLE straps would like hold a pouch that has like any kind of weight on it. Maybe it would, maybe it won't. I have no idea. I haven't played with it yet. What all the pouches do wrong is whenever you use the actual water bottle compartment, it reduces the capacity of the main compartment itself. This pouch doesn't do it. Not by much anyway. So The pouch itself will come out, right? So whenever you stick your water bottle in there, it comes out, and then it has some give to it too. So if you have like a round water bottle, it will curve to the outside of this pouch rather than collapsing the inside of this compartment. And that's why I don't necessarily mind them on this one. Again, I prefer them just not be there and they just have Molly down the entire thing and be done with it. But at least they did it right. So in here, I have a couple of things. So this says it's a small bottle. It says Gold Bond, but I'll actually throw up a link and a picture of what's really in here. It's called monkey butt powder, and it is a godsend for anyone who doesn't want chafing, or blistered feet and stuff like that. It reduces all moisture, and it's fucking amazing. Definitely get you some monkey butt powder if you don't. And then in this little black sheath thing is a little tool I'm testing out. To be perfectly honest, I don't know how well it's gonna make it, if it will last at all. But it's like a little, I don't know, it reminds me of like one of them little gardening tools. And I'm running it in place of like an e-tool when I don't need an e-tool, right? This isn't going to replace an e-tool by any fucking means. If you got to dig large foxholes or have to, fill up a whole bunch of sandbags, whatever, something like that, this just ain't going to do the job. However, if you need to make yourself a little squatting hole, or perhaps maybe dig yourself out a little personal foxhole, not a deep one or anything like that, this might be able to get done in a pinch. I've used it twice now, and it did the job. It was just, for a squatting hole. Did that job obviously just fine. And so we'll see. I don't know if it's going to stick around, but we'll see. And on the other side, again, these water bottle compartments, I have, oh, by the way, these little Velcro tab thingies, yeah, they don't come with it either. I made this out of just some extra material I had. And that way, if I wanted to run, other stuff through here, some larger items, I could. In here, though, I keep a rain tarp for the pack. So, in case I don't want my shit to get wet and make it even more heavy, I have that. And then just a little boo-boo kit. Boo-boo kit, Tylenol, anti-diarrheal, eye drops, fucking moleskin, a little bit of everything in here, band-aids, fucking whatever. And again, they don't hold much, but it doesn't reduce the capacity of the main compartment. And before we dive into the main thing, let's go ahead. We're going to change that camera angle real quick, and we're going to get a better view with this. All right, now that we got a little bit of a better angle, let's go ahead and dive in. So this compartment up front is basically going to be some pocket litter stuff. But before we dive into that, let me go ahead and show you. So it as well is lined with that waterproof material, or water resistant material, I should say. And so again, another good place. It's a really flat place, and it does, the more you bulk up the main compartment of this little pouch, the more space is reduced in here. However, it is a good place for documents and stuff like that for quick access. In it, though, like I said, just some pocket litter stuff mostly. A bandana, be worn around the head to keep the sweat out of the eyes, conceal my identity if need be, or to be used as a makeshift water filter. Can also be used. So it's a 3-piecer. And here I have some stuff I'm kind of testing out as well, just some little mosquito repellent stuff. So these little black straps are just like little wristband type things, and you insert this little blue plastic piece into the compartment, and it's supposed to repel mosquitoes. Does it work? I have no idea, but we'll find out. I've used like 2 of them already, and I didn't get eaten up as bad, so maybe it does work. I have no idea. And just a couple of extra carabiners in case I needed to string something up. Inside this main compartment, again, I think they missed the ball just a little bit. They went a little bit more EDC organizational than I would prefer. I think they would have been better off if they would have just left it a empty open space, maybe lined with Velcro. So if somebody really wanted that EDC, organizational compartment, they could always do their own. But I digress. So in here, I just keep a boonie cap. So again, this pretty much gets tossed in either on or in my pocket whenever we step off. And that's in Multicam Tropic, a gift from my buddy. Appreciate you, big dog. And then right here, we'll just go through this. So in this little compartment, I think it's meant for like a radio, maybe a spare magazine or something like that. I just keep a pair of socks wrapped in a plastic bag. We're doing an extended hike and we come to a little rest stop. I want to do a quick sock change. Bam, I can do so without digging into the main compartment of my pack. And here I got just a Rat the Rain, a pencil, and a marker. And then down here in the bottom, I have just a bit of 550 cord. In this first little pouch, I just have like a little plastic bag for a phone in case I don't want it to get wet. Again, not exactly sure if I'll even have a phone. If shit pops off, maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe I'll be given one. I have no idea. Cross that bridge when we get there. But in the meantime, I have one to protect my phone in the meantime. Just a little handheld flashlight. I have the batteries reversed right now, so there's no power drain. But it's just a little Streamlight Polytac. You can pretty much throw these things off of a bridge and they'll be just fine. And then just a pin. And here, again, some pocket litter, some not. So I have just some aqua tabs with a big lighter wrapped in a plastic bag. And then this one, I have powdered electric lights. And I know a lot of people think that they're having a heat stroke when they're really not. I've had two, unfortunately. I don't care to have a third one, so I have some powdered electric lights just to help keep me going. And then down here in the bottom, again, some more pocket litter stuff. Clipper lighter. So if you don't know about clipper lighters, these things are actually really dope. You can remove this little compartment right here, and let's say if you get this thing really soaking wet or whatever, being able to remove these two components, dry out your flint, shake this out really good, and you will get this wet lighter back up and running much faster than you will a Bic any time of day. The flint's also replaceable, and the gas is also refillable on these things. So I really like them for like a survival lighter type stuff, but I carry a Bic as a backup just in case. And then for here, a pencil sharpener. Again, don't know if I need a fire or something like that, but if I do and I need some real good kindling, just stick a stick in here, fucking spin it, and I'll get some kindling for it to help start up a fire. Shove that all back in here real quick. Got to be pretty, just got to fit. And then in the back compartment, I keep a spare poncho, so I fucking hate getting wet. And poncho can just be quickly donned on and off if rain starts to come. I carry two ponchos, right? So I carried this one and also carry another one in a pouch on my kit. That way I could use for a little shelter if need be, or if I get separated from my pack. And then here, some dude wipes, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Make sure you stay clean and clean your ass. And again, you can fit a good amount still in here, but you could have fit more if they would have just left it open. Whatever. Another aspect about this little outside doohickey pouch, right, is it's meant to run as a little mini assault style pack. So, pack up your ruck, go on your little mission thing, drop ruck, undo the bungee on each strap on each side, and then it also, whenever you buy this pack, it comes with a couple of like just basically little nylon cords and QD buckles. Take off the bungee, put the nylon buckles on, and bam, you could run this like as a little mini style assault backpack if you really want. Would be a great idea, again, if it wasn't so fucking EDC organizable. Whatever. In this front compartment right here, so this is a really flat compartment. You can't really fit much in here, to be perfectly honest, but it is lined with that water resistant material, so anything that you want to help keep out of the rain, by all means. And here I just keep a little mosquito net. I think this one's made from like real tree or something like that. It works, and I can still see out of it. And then in the bottom down here, I just have some more netting, right? So just camo netting. Actually, I need to go ahead and paint this. It still has that shine to it a little bit. But just some camo netting. Multi-purpose, right? So you can use it to help make a shelter, hide a blind, or if for some reason you are really cold at nighttime, even though it doesn't have a whole bunch of holes in it, wrap up in this as well as your woolby, and it will help add some warmth, or retain some warmth, I guess is the way I should say it. And then in the top right here, we have a little small eyeglass pouch. I mean, everyone's seen these, right? Felt line. So if you have some optics, thermal, handheld magnifier, something like that, that you just want to make sure it doesn't get scratched up, bam, toss it in here. For now, I just keep some clear eye pro stuffed in there. And digging into the main squeeze of this bag is the main compartment. So it is a half clamshell design, meaning you can only open it halfway. Again, I would prefer the entire clamshell, but whatever. So we'll just start going through here. So right here, I just keep some Bees Combat System backpack scrim. And I don't always run it on my pack just because while it does break up the outline quite well, it's also just a fucking tangle hazard. So if you're going through thick brush, anything like that, everything's going to get caught up on this. It's going to pull, snap twigs, make noise. So I have it in here in case I do want to run it. But again, it's not something I always run. And here I have a stripped MRE. Now, I say stripped and I don't really know. I guess I really don't know what people mean when they say stripped because everything in here is food. And the only thing that I think I removed from here was like maybe the fork and maybe a napkin, maybe a mint. I don't even know about that. There wasn't a ton in here for me to remove, but I opened it up, removed everything that I saw that looked like trash, and yeah, closed it back up. So stripped our MRE. And I have it right there laying in front because I'll probably be the first mill that I go through. Or if I want to just toss this into a pouch on my kit, I can do so. Right here, I just have a little maintenance kit. Ain't going to go through everything in here, but the one thing I do want to note is going to be this little torque screwdriver. So a lot of people have these little really thin little screwdrivers in their maintenance kits, to help remove optics or whatever, do some emergency maintenance to their rifle if need be. The one thing that I've seen that everyone has is, it's those really little thin ones. And I don't know if anyone's actually ever tried removing stuff that's been torqued down with like one of those really thin little screwdriver things, but you can't really grab on those things and they slip everywhere. So I picked up this short little stubby one. Takes up a little bit more space, but you could really grab it and get a good grip on stuff. So that's the one thing I want to note about the maintenance kit. Make sure you carry a spare bolt. Make sure you carry some oil and a rag, and that's pretty much it. And here I just have a battery compartment, a little battery bank. So this isn't something that I always run all the time. Again, don't know if you're necessarily taking a phone with you, and if you're not taking a phone with you, you don't need this big of a battery bank. And even if you were taking a phone with you, you don't need this big of a battery bank. This thing is like 30,000 milliamps or something. I got it to see if it could run a field laptop, which it said it could, and it can't. So what is this brand? Hinhot, yeah, you suck ass. It still holds a ton of juice though, so I have it in here. But yeah, if all you need is like a spare, a battery bank to recharge maybe like your 18650s and maybe some depending on which radio runs, some of the radios can be charged now with a USB-C cord. Yeah, you don't really need this big of a battery bank, and it takes up more space. You can get away with something a lot thinner. But I have it in here for now. And then right here, just some cordage as well. A lot of times if I'm not running this, I have a small little dry bag. Maybe I can roll some B-roll clip in it. But I have a small dry bag about this big, and it's really great for holding spare radio batteries and stuff like that. So if I'm not running that, that's the other thing I typically run in here. This thing is just a bag of clothing, right? So I got like 1 or 2 pairs of boxers in here, 1 pair of socks, and a beanie cap, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Wrapped in a plastic bag with a couple of Ranger bands on the outside just to help keep the profile overall small. On the bottom here, I'm not going to take it out, but basically the only thing I have in here in the bottom is going to be a bivy sack with a will be stuffed on the inside, rolled up. And it takes up about half the space of the main compartment, a little bit more than half. You can kind of cram it down a little bit more in there, but not by much. And so, yeah, this is basically the rest of the space you're left with if you want to run a sleeping system. And that's why I said I don't think that this bag is suitable for cold weather, at least like not without some major like add-ons or something like that. Because you just don't have enough space. If you're in some pretty good cold weather, you're going to at least want a wool blanket, probably something a little bit more, maybe a sleeping bag. And yeah, this bag just can't really do it. So yeah, but that's what I have down there in the bottom. And then right here, I just have some tent stakes kind of lanyard in, dangling. That way they don't really damage the bag too terribly much. And then right here is a small mesh zipper bag that takes up about half the space of the comes down to about right here, so from here to here. And in it I just keep my mess kit. So spork, titanium spork long. Here I can't remember what these things are called. I think they're called like cannelline torches or something like that. these things work depending on what you want to use them for, right? So if you need to boil water, these things do not work. These things will not boil water no matter how long that you leave them on your little stove compartment, whatever you want to call it. They'll get the water really hot, like steaming hot, but not enough to actually boil it. Good enough to cook food with, or to heat up one of these Mountain House meals. But you could also just throw regular temperature water in here, stuff this in like underneath your armpit or something like that. Let your body heat kind of warm it up and get it all mushy that way. But it does. I mean, it'll work to get you enough to get a really hot cup of water. I use it mainly to, like I said, cook the Mountain House or these little coffee things. So start off by saying no instant coffee is good coffee. However, this Vietnamese pre-made coffee is actually not bad. I put 2 of these inside of like your little nesting cup, mix them all together, and have me a nice cup of coffee in the morning. Has a little bit of cream in it, has a little bit of sugar, something like that. Not much, hardly at all. It's really pleasant whenever you're kind of out there in the suck. And then with it, I just got some beef jerky sticks, kind of just meshed in there with it as well. Not enough, just enough to a little snack on, and that's what I run. And the last little bit is just some emergency fire tinder. I don't know if this will be sticking in there, but it's just a same old cotton Vaseline dipped in wax, nothing new. And that's about does it as far as what I keep in the pack. Now, again, you can fit a little bit more in here. Typically, if I was actually stepping off, I'd probably keep like a bandolier of like 4 to 6 magazines right there on top as well. And you could definitely wouldn't have much more space other than that, but you do have enough space to add a little bit of extra mag if you wish. Or if you don't need extra mags, maybe you need some extra food, extra water. Again, you know how to pack your own pack. I ain't going to go into that, but this will just kind of give you an idea of how much it can totally fit. And again, if you're smart about when you use this bag, it can work for your purposes. One other thing I want to note real quick is going over these shoulder straps. So the shoulder straps are actually really nice. The material is that same cushioning material that you'll find on the belt. Plenty of straps on the outside for you to attach stuff. Not detachable on the top, but they are detachable on the bottom. So if you need to quickly release it to get out of it real quick, you're able to do so. And then in this little compartment, I just have some ear pro in this little protective case, just kind of dangling in case I need some. But yeah, that about does it for this pack. Let me go ahead and change up that angle again real quick. Well, guys, that about does it for this pack. This was a little bit different style that I normally go through. I typically like to script everything out to make sure I get good information in there. But today I was just kind of freeballing it, right? I was a little bit short on time. Got a competition I got to go to. And then in a few hours, I actually have my daughter's 4th birthday that I got to attend to. So if you like this content, please do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It does me a huge favor. And please don't forget to go check out that website. Not necessarily for me, but more for the content creators that are on it. We have a ton of good people on there. Tactical Muffin Top, Mid-Tier Thoughts, Uncle OJ, Bones. Your boy Hops even said he wanted to get on there. So please go check it out. It's a really cool place. And anyway, this has been Rebel Spirit Operations, and I'm out. Later, fellas.